Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J, and WWE Raw. And still no champion. Alright, well, hey. Francesca's not here. I won. She might have gone back to Italy for a little while. I'm not entirely sure. But hey, let's get right into the review. Was it worth it? Yeah, here we go. So first, we open up to a chorus of boos when Roman Reigns comes out and starts to make his promo. And wow, are the boos crazy. And then the promo, not that good. Basically saying exactly what we have already thought, which is they screwed up the finish of the Greatest Royal Rumble match, the Steel Cage. Anyways, then Samoa Joe appears on the screen. He's good. Jinder Mahal comes out. More boos. Sami Zayn comes out. Huge pop. Kevin Owens comes out. Huge pop. Then they start beating up. And usually the heels would just ascend on a face and just beat him up. But they start beating him up because Roman Reigns attacks Kevin Owens first. Just punches him. And then they go at him. Bobby Lashley comes out. He gets beaten up. And then Braun Strowman comes out. And it basically leads way to a six-man tag later in the night. I did not think this entire segment was worth it. It was way too long, way too drawn out, and Roman Reigns was boring. Like, really bloody boring. It was just so rehearsed, so by the numbers, and if you're trying to make us have sympathy for the man, this is not how you do it. Because the delivery and like everything was so boring that I just stopped caring. I really just stopped caring. So no, this one wasn't worth it. Then we had Elias come out and do a little concert. He wasn't able to do a lot of the concert, but what he did get in was great stuff. So yes, that was worth it. And he ends up having a match with Bobby Roode. A second one, he had one last week as well. And this was a really good match. He starts to focus a lot on the neck and throat area of Bobby Roode. And you can see like he's trying to get a lot going for him. But then Elias, this sneaky little heel, was able to get a couple of good offensive moves. And then he just takes Bobby Roode and just runs him into the top rung of the turnbuckle. Not the top turnbuckle, but the top rung. And just throat first, just annihilates him. He's on the ground just breathing heavy, trying to get any breath. It was brutal spot, and it looked really good. And then Elias goes and claims that he did win, and when he's walking, he's looking at Elias. When Elias walks past Bobby Roode, he's looking at Bobby, and he's just like, "Oh, are you hurt?" And he laughs, and he just leaves. Great stuff, great character stuff from Elias here. I definitely thought this was worth it. I was upset because the match starts on a commercial, so we don't get to see a lot of the match, but what we did get to see was good stuff. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I like Elias, and him and Bobby Roode in a feud is actually doing a lot of good. But I guess they just completely scrapped the Bobby Lashley feud Elias was going to be in. Oh well, but yeah, this one was definitely worth it. Then we had the authors of Pain come out, and we got a little bitty interview from Jean-Paul and Francois. And then they come out. The interview was just okay, I guess, but they come out and they get squashed. They did have one funny moment when one of the two, I think Francois, was hitting one of the authors of Pain and just does a shrug and goes to the ropes, but then just gets laid out. That was funny, but overall, at the end of the day, it was still a squash match. I do not like squash matches because it doesn't show the talent of either party involved. So I'd have to say no, this one was not worth it. I understand what they're doing. They're building up the authors of Pain for something, but it seems a lot too close to the Bludgeon Brothers right now, and it's just not my thing. So no, it wasn't worth it. Then we had Seth Rollins come out and do a huge babyface promo after retaining the Intercontinental Championship. He is still champion after the greatest Royal Rumble, and this was amazing. He did a great job. There was a point where everyone was cheering, and he just stopped talking. Like he was gonna go to talk, and he just stops talking, and he just lets it all wash in. And that was a good character beat. It shows that he's really appreciative to the fans, that he's not above just letting it all sink in and responding to the fans proper. Learn from Seth, Roman. Learn from Seth. But this was good stuff. Basically saying he's not going to be like Brock Lesnar. He's going to be a fighting champion. He'll be there every week having a match. Finn Balor comes out and is like, hey, put your money where your mouth is. Have a match with me tonight. And he basically lets the crowd decide. Do you want us to have this match? Everyone is saying yes. I'm saying yes. So then the Miztourage comes out, and they do a whole Four Horsemen thing with their shirts. Everyone's taped, and great comedy stuff. I was skeptical to see if they were going to be a part of the finish. We'll get to that at the end of the video, of course. But good comedy stuff. Great stuff from Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I can't wait to see exactly where they end up going from here. And yeah, definitely worth it. From Seth Rollins coming out to Finn Balor to the Miztourage, and even the ending when they just fight off. The Miztourage attacks Finn and Seth, but then they fend the Miztourage off. And just when you think everything's gonna be okay, he doesn't turn heel, but he does grab Finn grabs Seth Rollins and gives him an elbow, and is like, "You better be looking at me. You better not take your eyes off of me." So they've been teasing a heel turn with Finn for a while now. So hopefully they pull the trigger really soon, because that's going to be really cool. But yes, this was worth it. All right, the next one. We had Ruby Riott versus Sasha Banks. And of course, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were there. And they booked the Riott Squad the correct way. They actually booked them as a strong, cohesive unit. Nothing like what they were doing on SmackDown, which was horrible. And I feel like this was going to be Absolution if it wasn't for the fact Paige got injured. But Ruby Riott and Sasha Banks were having a great match together. They did a really good job. Sasha can sell like nobody's business on that women's roster. And the end came when Sarah Logan just slips into the ring and distracts the ref when Ruby's in the bank statement. Before she taps, Liv Morgan slips underneath and pulls Ruby out of that hold. Because there's the numbers game, Sasha is keeping on attacking Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan just keep going back and forth. And when she's on the top turnbuckle, nice forearm, Riott kick. Ruby Riott wins the match. The correct outcome, mind you. Ruby Riott does win the match, and I thought this was an amazing match. Yes, it was 100% worth it. I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised when it was over. And it keeps the Riott Squad looking really strong, like the threat that they are. They're three talented, heel, crazy girls. You have to keep giving them wins by nefarious means and keep them looking strong. So, yeah, this was great. I'm looking forward to Bayley's attempt at taking on the Riott Squad at BackLash. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it was worth it, totally. All right, then we had another segment, another vignette, A Moment of Bliss, with my favorite, Alexa Bliss right now, on Raw at least. And this was fantastic. I don't know what they're doing with Nia at all at the moment, aka nothing, and she's champion. What the heck? And I feel like these vignettes are going to lead to another championship run, another long championship run for Alexa Bliss. Yeah, this was really great stuff, and she is so funny. I love the whole. It's a cup. You sit in a cup, and Nia Jax is bullying her about her height and that fact that she doesn't eat a lot of food. From start to finish, this was fantastic. We'll see what happens. I kind of, sort of want to see the heel win here on BackLash. I want to see Alexa Bliss get her title back. That's the only real feud going on for the championship, Nia and Alexa. I don't know. Something's weird here. We'll see what happens, though. I'm excited. Yes, it was 100 and 1,000, a million, a billion, a quintillion times. It was worth it. All right, then we had Titus Worldwide getting well, at least Titus O'Neil getting interviewed about his Titus World slide. And he basically says what everybody thinks he says. He just fell. He just fell. He just a clumsy moment, and it was cool. Then Baron Corbin came out and just ruined the entire segment and made it boring. He's just like, what would be really inspirational if you didn't fall at all? No, like him falling and then getting back up and then being in the match for as long as he did, that's inspirational. It's like no matter how many times you fall, you get back up. That's an inspirational thing because nobody's perfect. Everyone will fall. But Baron Corbin just ruined it. And then later on, oh boy. But no, this one wasn't worth it, unfortunately. And it was very disappointing. It was very disappointing. I thought they were going to do a lot more, but that's what we got instead. Then we had a Woken promo, which we had the light and the dark, Woken Matt Hardy and Woken Bray Wyatt, and this was so ridiculous and so funny. You saw like the moon landing, and they were there. The famous sailor kissing after V-Day. That was, and they're just in the background smiling like a bunch of goofs on the caves and stuff. It was so great, so funny, very, very imaginative. Yes, it was 100% worth it, and I'm really excited for these guys as champions. I'm really excited to see what stories they can tell and what they can do in the company right now as champions. All right, so then we had the 6-man tag, and it was Reigns, Lashley, and Strowman versus Owens, Zayn, and Mahal. And yeah, I really, really wanted to say no, this one wasn't worth it, but the match was so much fun, and the ending was great, and a bunch of carnage. One of the coolest spears from Reigns to Jinder Mahal. So great, such great stuff. Braun running around the ring again and just shoulder tackling Owens and Zayn into the barricade. Great stuff. The hot tag was a bit underwhelming because Roman Reigns, he's selling, and he just gets up and casually strolls and tags Strowman. But good stuff, a very fun match. They put on a good show. Yes, it was worth it. And of course, the faces win. Of course, duh. Alrighty. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I guess not. Alright, then we had Baron Corbin versus No Way Jose. Last week, No Way Jose got attacked by Baron Corbin after their scheduled match did not happen. So their match is officially happening. It's gonna be happening right now. So, yeah, they get into it, and Baron Corbin is he has all of the offense. Let's be real. All of the offense is on Baron Corbin's side. Titus Worldwide comes out, and you have this whole thing. It's like, oh, hold on, let me make sure you don't fall. And then he's like, oh, he survived the ramp. He didn't fall. And he gets on the turnbuckle. And the most obvious dive playing basketball, I know exactly how to dive. That was my thing. I would get people fouled out because I would fake dive. I would get hit and just dive all the time. Get those fouls called on everyone. Get them out of the game. You have to be very sneaky, and you have to know how to sell, basically. Titus doesn't, and it was... He gets on the turnbuckle, and he jumps, and he goes down. That distracts Baron Corbin enough for No Way Jose to roll him up and get the win. No, this was horrible. This was stupid. This was not worth it at all. And it almost just ruined the night for me, but luckily the main event happened. Yay. But yeah, it was a lot of nothing. It was a lot of nothing, and it was just obvious fakeness, really. So I'm sorry, Titus. I'm sorry you have to be the butt of the joke right now. You're a really cool dude, and it sucks to see you in that position. No, this wasn't worth it. Then we had Natalya versus Mickie James. Alexa Bliss was in Mickie James's corner, and Ronda Rousey was in Natalya's corner. And I'm just going to get straight to the end of the match because the match itself was boring because they didn't let Mickie James do anything. Alexa Bliss gets on the apron and distracts Natalya. Ronda Rousey chases Alexa Bliss around. Throughout the chase, roll up, Natalya wins. Boo. Nia Jax's music hits. Alexa Bliss is like, oh crud, oh no. She runs through the crowd and escapes. And then there's a point when Nia Jax looks at Ronda Rousey, smiles, and they do the victory pose. What are you doing with Nia? You're doing absolutely nothing. This is not what I wanted to see when I said I want babyface Nia Jax. I want her to be I want her to be like Seth Rollins. I want her to be like Braun Strowman. Someone who is character driven and has good matches. But you're not doing anything with her. She was there to introduce Ember Moon. She was there to just take out everybody off of the side of the 10-woman match. She was there to just be on commentary and do nothing. She was here to look and smile at Ronda Rousey and raise her arm. No, forget that. I don't want to see Ronda Rousey as a champion right now. She hasn't even earned it. She had one match, and she hasn't even had any feud. She's horrible on the mic still. She's boring. She can't even walk down the ramp properly. She can't even help someone up properly. She can't do anything. I'm sick and tired of her already. Duh! No, this wasn't worth it at all. It made me so mad. I hope Alexa Bliss gets that championship back because at least she does something with the championship. At least she does something as champion. Duh! And then we had the main event. And holy crud, thank goodness, because Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, it was amazing. And after a great curb stomp, Seth Rollins wins. I don't want to say too much. Go watch the match. They had great spots, great chemistry, great moments. Go watch that match. It was fantastic. Yes, it was worth it. And overall, there's only a few bumps along the way. But overall, this was a good episode. This was a good show. Go check it out. And that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to leave us those sexy, sexy likes. Share to all your friends and enemies, of course. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like what we do. I mean, even if you don't, and if you want to support us, just hit the subscribe button for us, please. Yeah, hit that notification bell because we do go live on pay-per-views and our podcast. This week we won't be able to have our podcast, unfortunately, because of scheduling conflicts. But next week we will be back in order of shooting with the Smarky family. Yeah. And then, yeah, guys, thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter at IsaJ_STP. And thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. And until next time, it will be awesome.